If you've been driving your Ford and something just feels off, the ride is stiffer than it should be, the steering feels disconnected, the cabin is louder than you expected, or the throttle response seems weirdly sluggish, there's a very good chance the problem isn't mechanical. There's a very good chance the problem is a setting that was either defaulted to the wrong position at the factory, changed without you realizing it, or buried so deep in a menu that most owners never find it until they've already started Googling whether something is wrong with their truck or SUV. Ford has loaded their modern lineup with an extraordinary amount of driver-configurable technology. The F-150, the Explorer, the Bronco, the Mustang, the Edge, the Escape, they're all packed with suspension tuning options, drive mode systems, steering feel adjustments, noise management features, and a dozen other settings that dramatically affect how the vehicle behaves on the road. And that's genuinely great news, because it means a lot of the discomfort people blame on their Ford's hardware is actually fixable through software. The bad news is that finding these settings, understanding what they actually do, and knowing which combination works best for your driving style is something Ford doesn't exactly walk you through in the owner's manual. So that's what we're doing today. We are going inside the menus, inside the drive systems, and inside the tech stack that Ford has built into their vehicles to find every hidden setting that could be making your ride worse than it needs to be. By the end of this video, you're going to have a completely different relationship with your Ford, because you're finally going to understand what it's actually capable of when it's set up correctly for you. Setting 1, drive mode, is still in normal, and that's the problem. This is the single most impactful setting that the overwhelming majority of Ford owners never change from the factory default, and it's quietly making their ride worse every single day. Every modern Ford with a drive mode selector, which includes the F-150, Explorer, Mustang, Bronco, Edge, Escape, and Expedition, ships with the system defaulted to normal mode. That sounds reasonable on the surface. Normal seems like a neutral, sensible place to be. But what normal actually means in Ford's calibration is a compromise setting designed to pass emissions testing, satisfy fuel economy ratings, and feel acceptably average to the widest possible range of test drivers. It is not designed for your road, your driving style, or your comfort. What most owners don't realize is that switching out of normal fundamentally changes how the vehicle's engine, transmission, steering, and suspension respond to your inputs. On the F-150 with the MagneRide suspension system, switching to sport mode doesn't just change the throttle, it actually stiffens the dampers, sharpening body control in a way that reduces the wallowing, floating sensation that some owners find unsettling at highway speeds. On the other hand, if highway cruising comfort is your priority and your F-150 feels choppy over expansion joints and rough pavement, switching into tow/haul mode actually smooths out transmission shift points and reduces some of the overly responsive throttle behavior that makes light-load highway driving feel jerky. The Bronco takes this even further. Its drive mode system, called GOAT, which stands for Goes Over Any Type of Terrain, includes modes that most owners set during the initial setup excitement and then never revisit. Slippery mode and eco mode in particular dramatically alter throttle mapping in ways that can make an already smooth-riding Bronco feel completely disconnected and lifeless on everyday roads. If your Bronco feels like it's fighting you on normal pavement, the first thing to check before anything else is which drive mode it woke up in this morning. Because these systems don't always remember your last preference, and defaulting back to a mode that wasn't right for the conditions is a quiet, consistent source of discomfort that most owners attribute to the vehicle rather than the settings. Setting 2. The steering feel adjustment you didn't know existed. Ford's electric power steering system, used across virtually the entire modern lineup, is tunable through the Vehicle Settings menu in a way that surprisingly few owners ever explore. The system offers multiple steering feel levels, typically labeled Comfort, Normal, and Sport in the sync settings, and the difference between them is not subtle. It's the kind of difference that can completely change your opinion of how a vehicle handles, how connected it feels to the road, and how fatiguing it is to drive over long distances. Here's what actually changes when you adjust the steering feel setting. In Comfort mode, the electric steering assist is higher, meaning the system is doing more of the work, and your steering wheel requires less physical effort to turn. For some drivers, particularly in urban environments with a lot of low-speed maneuvering, this is genuinely pleasant. But for highway driving, that same high assist level creates a vague, floaty sensation where the wheel doesn't communicate road feedback in a way that feels natural. You end up making constant small corrections because the wheel doesn't give you the subtle resistance cues that tell your hands where straight is. Sport steering mode reduces the power assist, increasing the steering weight and sharpening the connection between your hands and the front wheels. For most drivers on most roads, this is actually the more comfortable long-distance setting, counterintuitive as that sounds, because it reduces fatigue caused by that vague, overcorrecting sensation. On the Mustang, the difference is even more dramatic. The sport steering setting transforms what can feel like a slightly disconnected Grand Tourer into something genuinely responsive and confidence-inspiring through corners. To find this setting on most Ford models with Sync 3 or Sync 4, go into the Settings menu, then Vehicle, then Driver Assistance or Driving Dynamics, depending on your model year. It will typically be labeled Steering Mode or Steering Feel. On some F150 trims, it lives inside the Drive Mode settings rather than the general vehicle settings. If you've never been in there and your steering feels either numb or overly light, this is the first place to look. Setting 3. Trailer sway control is interfering with your everyday drive. This one applies specifically to F-150, Expedition, Ranger, and Explorer owners, and it's caused more confusion and discomfort than almost any other setting in Ford's lineup. Trailer sway control is a safety feature, and when you're actually towing, it's an incredibly valuable one. It monitors for the oscillating motion that indicates a trailer is beginning to sway, and applies selective braking and reduces engine torque to bring things back under control. When you're hauling a camper down the interstate at 65 miles per hour, it's the kind of system you really want active and working properly. The problem is that on some Ford models, particularly earlier Sync 3 versions in the F150, the system's sensitivity threshold can cause it to intervene during normal, load-free driving in conditions where sway control shouldn't be triggering at all. Driving through gusty crosswinds, making lane changes on uneven highway surfaces, or navigating sharp on-ramps can sometimes cause the system to apply brief, unexpected braking pulses that feel bizarre and jarring to a driver who has no trailer attached and no idea why the truck just seemed to stumble for a half second. What makes this particularly frustrating is that the setting is not always immediately obvious in the menu structure. On F-150S through the 2021 model year, accessing and adjusting this setting sometimes requires going through the trailer brake controller settings even when no trailer is connected, which is completely unintuitive. On newer models with Sync 4, it's more accessible under the towing and hauling section of vehicle settings. If your F-150 or Expedition has ever felt like it hiccuped inexplicably during a normal highway maneuver, trailer sway control sensitivity is one of the first things worth reviewing. And if you primarily drive without a trailer, understanding exactly when and how this system is active will save you a lot of unnecessary anxiety about mysterious driving sensations. Setting 4. The Adaptive Cruise Control. Following distance is set too close. Ford's Adaptive Cruise Control, branded as Intelligent Adaptive Cruise Control on newer models with stop-and-go capability, is one of the most genuinely useful features in the modern Ford lineup. But it ships with a default following distance setting that a significant number of owners find deeply uncomfortable. Not because it's unsafe by a strict legal standard, but because it creates a riding experience that feels constantly tense and reactive in a way that defeats the entire purpose of using cruise control in the first place. The default following distance on most Ford Adaptive Cruise Control systems is set to the shortest or second shortest gap, which means the system maintains a relatively tight interval between your vehicle and the car ahead. In light traffic on a smooth highway, this can feel fine. But in variable traffic conditions, with vehicles cutting in and out of your lane, the system has to brake more frequently and more sharply to maintain that tight gap. And those braking events feel intrusive and abrupt. You end up tensed in the seat, watching the gap close and wondering if the system is going to react in time, which is the exact opposite of the relaxed highway experience Adaptive Cruise is supposed to provide. Increasing the following distance to the maximum setting, typically represented by 3 or 4 chevrons or bars depending on your model, transforms the experience entirely. With more space ahead, the system has more time to react gradually, which means it can slow down more smoothly and accelerate more gently. The ride becomes genuinely relaxing rather than subtly stressful. On the Mustang Mach-E and Bronco Sport with the latest Sync 4A, you can also adjust how aggressively the system recalibrates when a vehicle cuts in front of you, which further smooths out the behavior in busy traffic. This is adjusted on the steering wheel controls in most models, while cruise control is active, and it takes about 3 seconds to change. It's one of the fastest, highest impact comfort improvements available available in any Ford, and most people driving with the default setting don't even know another option exists. Setting 5. Your lane keeping system is fighting you on every straight road. Ford's lane keeping system comes standard on most trim levels across the modern lineup, and it exists in several forms: lane keeping alert, lane keeping aid, and lane centering depending on the model and trim. The alert function simply warns you when you drift. That's useful and relatively unobtrusive. But lane keeping aid and lane centering actively steer the vehicle, and when these systems are running at their default sensitivity levels on roads with worn lane markings, inconsistent pavement, or natural curves, they can create a constant, subtle tug-of-war with the steering wheel that is genuinely exhausting over a long drive. What's happening at a technical level is that the forward-facing camera is reading lane markings and applying corrective steering torque to keep you between them. On a freshly paved highway with crisp, bright markings, this works beautifully. But on older roads, construction zones, roads with multiple old marking layers, or any surface where the camera has difficulty maintaining a confident read on the lane boundaries, the system starts overcorrecting. It pulls left, you naturally push right, it pulls left again, and this goes on continuously for miles. By the time you've been on the road for an hour, your shoulders are tighter than they should be, and your wrists are tired, and you might not even consciously understand why. The fix is to take control of what the system is actually doing. In most Ford vehicles with Sync 3 or 4, you can independently toggle lane keeping alert, lane keeping aid, and lane centering from the driver assistance menu. Keeping alert active while turning off aid gives you the warnings without the steering interference. If you're on a long straight highway with good markings and want lane centering to help reduce fatigue, turn it on for that stretch. But on curvy roads or roads with inconsistent markings, having the aid system off entirely and trusting your own steering instincts will make the drive feel dramatically more natural and far less tiring. Setting 6. Auto Start-Stop is killing your comfort at every red light. Ford's Auto Start-Stop system, which shuts the engine off when the vehicle comes to a complete stop and restarts it when you release the brake, is one of the most complained about features across the entire Ford lineup and one of the easiest to address if you know where to look. The system is designed to improve fuel economy by eliminating idling, and in purely mathematical terms, it does what it's supposed to do. But the experience of the engine shutting off and restarting, especially on higher mileage vehicles or in hot weather when the air conditioning demand causes the system to restart more abruptly, is for many drivers deeply unpleasant. The vibration when the engine stops and the lurch when it restarts are the most commonly reported issues, and Ford's calibration of this system has been inconsistent across model years. Some F-150 owners with the 5.0 V8 report that the restart shutter is jarring enough to feel like the truck is stuttering. Escape and Explorer owners have noted that in stop-and-go traffic, the constant cycling is both uncomfortable and, counterintuitively, makes the driving experience feel more effortful rather than less. Most Ford models have an Auto Start-Stop Disable button on the center console, but this button only deactivates the system for the current drive cycle. The moment you turn the car off and restart it, Auto Start-Stop comes back on. For Ford Sync 4 vehicles from the 2021 model year onward, there is a way to set the system to default to off through the vehicle settings menu, though the specific path varies by model and software version. On some F150 configurations, this lives under engine and fuel settings. On Explorer and Escape models, it can sometimes be found under advanced settings within the general settings menu. Finding the true default off setting rather than the per session disable is the difference between fixing the problem and just dealing with it one drive at a time. Setting 7. The suspension preconditioning feature nobody activates. This last setting is the most overlooked and, for owners of equipped vehicles, potentially the most impactful of everything we've covered today. Ford's CCD, continuously controlled damping, suspension system, available on the F-150 with the available Mag-N-Ride package and on certain Expedition and Explorer Platinum trims, includes a preconditioning feature that adjusts suspension stiffness based on road data and driving pattern prediction. When this is set up correctly and the associated drive mode is configured to your preferences, the difference in ride quality on rough road surfaces is genuinely remarkable. The issue is that the system's default calibration errs toward a stiffer, more controlled setup that's designed to impress during a test drive on smooth pavement. On real-world roads with dips, railroad crossings, potholes, and uneven surfaces, which is what most of us are actually driving on, the The default calibration can feel unnecessarily firm and sometimes even crashy over sharp impacts. Adjusting the suspension preconditioning through the My Ford or Ford Pass vehicle configuration, combined with selecting the right base drive mode for your daily conditions, can soften the initial impact response in a way that makes the truck or SUV feel genuinely more planted and comfortable, rather than fighting every surface variation. On the F-150 specifically, pairing a custom drive mode with sport suspension preconditioning for highway use and normal suspension for mixed urban driving is a combination that many owners arrive at after months of trial and error, but that you can set up today. The custom drive mode option, available on most well-equipped F-150 trims, allows you to mix and match individual setting categories rather than accepting the bundled presets. Throttle response, steering feel, suspension behavior, and traction control sensitivity can all be set independently. This is the most powerful tool in the entire Ford settings ecosystem, and the fact that most owners don't know it's there or don't know how to use it effectively is exactly the kind of thing this video exists to fix. The bottom line: if there's one thing to take away from everything we've covered today, it's this. Your Ford is almost certainly more comfortable than you think it is. You just haven't found the right configuration yet. The discomfort, the stiffness, the vague steering, the stuttering restarts, the lane-keeping tug, the tense adaptive cruise experience. In most cases, these aren't flaws in the hardware. They're the results of factory defaults that were chosen for the average driver in average conditions, not for you, your roads, and your daily driving reality. Ford has given their owners an extraordinary amount of control over how these vehicles behave, far more than most people realize, and far more than the company does a good job of communicating. The owner's manual touches on these features briefly. The dealer walkthrough covers the basics, but nobody sits you down and walks you through the meaningful interplay between drive modes, steering feel, suspension preconditioning, and all the driver assistance settings that layer on top of each other to create your overall ride experience. That's the actual hidden cost of all this technology. Not money, but knowledge. The buyers who take the time to go deep into these menus, who experiment with the custom drive mode, who understand what their lane centering is actually doing on that particular stretch of road, end up with a vehicle that feels dramatically better than the one their neighbor bought from the same dealership. Same truck, same engine, same tires, completely different experience. So go spend 30 minutes in your settings menu this week. Go through every category in your vehicle and driver assistance settings. Try the steering feel adjustments back to back on the same road and feel the difference yourself. Set your adaptive cruise following distance to maximum and take it on the highway. Check whether Auto Start-Stop has a true default off setting on your model. These are not difficult changes. They're not expensive. They just require knowing that they exist. And now you do. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you in the next one.